Welcome to a special episode of Money in the Morning, the show where normally we take two headlines ripped from the current financial press and we discuss them on this channel. However, today we're going to do something a little different. Let's introduce the cast of characters from Detroit, Michigan, the place where we make Stacky Benjamins. I'm Joe Saul-Sehy.
And from New York City, I'm Bobbi Rebell. Also host of the Financial Grown Up podcast, I should say.
You should, absolutely. And today, neither of us are going to be doing Money in the Morning anymore. The big news today is we are both resigning, Bobbi.
Yes, we are. You actually, we talked about this because we've known about this for quite some time. And you said we were referencing Game of Thrones and you said, well, except Game of Thrones, nobody dies. But we actually are killing off one character from the show.
Yes.
It will not be on the new project, which we're going to reveal in just a few minutes.
Yes. So things are changing here. Now, first of all, let's talk about why things are changing. Bobbi and I, when I used to do the show last year by myself, I had a format that worked for me, but it was unsustainable. And I definitely needed professional help. Some people, if you read the reviews, say I need professional help in other ways, but we won't talk about that. But Bobbi was the perfect person to work with me on this project. So in November, I said, "Hey, Bobbi, would you like to do this?" I was very lucky that she said yes. And so to have somebody with the live television experience and the know-how in the background in financial media that Bobbi has was great. But obviously, you take a thing that one person did by themselves and you add somebody with the charisma that Bobbi has, and things change. And so what we looked at was, what does our audience want? And so many of you were nice enough to go take our survey. And the survey, by the way, and I'll just say this to any business owner, you shouldn't run your business by survey. Many times people frankly don't know what they want, but you have to find a middle ground, right? You have to find out what the audience wants and what you're excited about doing. And we were very excited about what the survey told us, because you told us that instead of more hard-edged money talk, what you really wanted was coffee cups. You really like the chat. You like the discussion around money. And I don't know, Bobbi, I'll shut up for a second. I found that really exciting.
I found it really exciting too. And the truth is, we had planned to do a lot of shows solo. We were going to tag team this whole thing, but we loved doing them together. And you guys said that too. You liked hearing us together and you liked having two people on the show. So we thought about not only how we could make this work, but also how we could basically level up the concept. And we decided to effectively gift the show to you, our money friends, and bring on board additional people to the cast. So what we are doing is we are going to be rebranding and relaunching the show. Joe, you want to do the big reveal?
Yeah, in just a second, I do want to say one more thing around that topic. The thing that we heard that Bobbi referenced that was exciting was people like the two of us together. I do too. I don't want to speak for Bobbi, but
I do too, Joe.
But that also is unsustainable. I couldn't do 3 episodes by myself. I can't do 3 episodes even with Bobbi. Bobbi is also incredibly busy. Can't do 3 episodes long term. So how do we make it so that we can get what we need, which is fewer episodes on our own, but still do what we think is good for the format, that 3 days a week? And I think it's important that while we went from one perspective, middle-aged white guy perspective, to 2 different perspectives, if we had more perspectives that we brought on, it makes the show even better, that it's more textured. And I believe that people learn better from people that initially people that are like them. So the more we can bring on people of different ages, different backgrounds, from different communities, it's going to make the show more exciting. So
different areas of expertise. I mean, a lot of diversity in terms of subject knowledge, where they're coming from, and what they're interested in.
Yeah. Gregory says, by the way, we do this if you're listening, and we're revealing this in front of a live Facebook audience. If you want to join our Facebook audience, it's facebook.com/iStackBenjamins, which means even though we are killing the show, we're making a new one. And I will do the reveal. So let's pop this thing on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, I almost forgot.
You're really dragging this out, Joe.
I am dragging
you are the master of this. Oh my goodness. We have to reveal it because we have a lot of other stuff to say.
I feel like one of those commentators where you're like, come on, just open the damn safe. Just open the whatever. All right, you ready? Here we go.
I'm ready.
That was so bad. Our show is now called Money with Friends.
Yay.
And so this is the new brand. This is our new graphic. Bobbi, what's that drink you've got in front of you?
It is a fruity orange drink, I think. It's delicious though.
And mine is a beverage with foam that shall remain anonymous. We have no idea.
Yeah. So I hope our audio audience comes and you will see the logo actually on your player, so you can see what that is. And we're going to be talking a little bit about our social media channels and other. Do we want to start talking about other people that will be joining? They will also have drinks and snacks on the logo.
Yes.
At times, if you watch our socials.
Well, let's just start off by answering this quick question. Why Money with Friends? I think we already kind of talked about that. Because you are our friends, we want it to be more of a chat type show. It will still be short. We may begin timing actually the amount of time. We may have we've played around with a timer where we talk about it only for a certain amount of time. The format largely stays the same, but these are much more of a money chat than hard edge news.
Right. And so we are going to be bringing in, as we discussed, other perspectives. And I don't know, do we want to start revealing who those people are?
Let's do that. Let's talk about the format just in general. So the Tuesday show, Bobbi, that'll be you and a team of 4 different people who will stay with us for 4 months.
4 and 4.
So you will have a team of 4. I will have a team of 4 on Thursday, and then the Saturday episode will be Bobbi and I together doing the show.
Exactly. And we are going to have we have a website that we've set up. We're still tweaking it a little bit, but we're definitely ready to have you guys take a look at it. And the key thing with the website is we will have a schedule on there so that if you do want to join us on the Facebook Live tapings, you will have times, always subject to change, but we're going to do our best.
Yeah, let me show you actually.
You can
here is our first.
And see when we'll be taping and then when that episode drops. So we're going to be showing it to our Facebook Live audience. You can come on here and see it. And that way you guys can plan. And I hope you guys will all join us for these Facebook Live tapings. We'll also, the headlines that we discuss will also reside in this schedule, which you can get to from the website. The website is moneywithfriendspodcast.com. moneywithfriendspodcast.com. And from there, you can listen to the podcast right there. You can also go to the schedule and you can see what tapings are coming up and when new shows are dropping and who the hosts of each show are. And you can also, as I mentioned, you can get the links to the stories that we have discussed. So that'll be a great resource, I think, for all of our listeners because it's something that we've been asked for and now we can deliver. That's
been tough because without a website, we've just had to share things on our Twitter feed. And having a place where you can go and dig into these stories that we talk about more, and some of the great writing that we profile, some of the great writers who write these pieces that we discuss, you'll be able to find all of those on our website. So we hope that it's a good resource. But it's also going to be a good resource for our partners who have been carefully chosen. So why don't we go each of us? Do you want to reveal your team one person at a time?
Sure. So the first person you're going to hear from, our taping is actually going to be on Monday, is Danielle Town. Some of you are familiar with her because you didn't know it, but she was helping us out, be a little bit of a guinea pig with us when we were testing out this concept. And there was an episode that Danielle co-hosted with me last week, I think it dropped. And so you guys should definitely check out that episode. Danielle is a friend of mine. She actually lives in Zurich. So most of our tapings will be in the morning because there is a time difference. So you'll hear from Danielle in terms of live tapings in the morning. And she is the co-host of the Invested podcast with her dad, Phil Town. It's funny because Phil is actually a friend of Joe's. And she is also the co-author of the book Invested. Danielle is going to be great on many topics, but particularly on investing. She focuses a lot on value investing, very much into Warren Buffett and that perspective on the markets. And I think she's going to be a great addition to the show. I'm so excited to have her, Joe.
Yeah, I am too. I think if you haven't read Phil Town's books or the book that Phil and Danielle wrote together, it's actually more Danielle's book than Phil's, frankly. You're doing yourself a disservice. Those are very good books on investing, and such just intelligent, fun people that know like the right things to focus on. Good stuff there. Well, I guess should we just go back and forth instead?
Let's go back and forth.
Joining me next week from the website Yes I Am Cheap is my friend Sandy Smith. Sandy is here with us. I'm super excited that Sandy's with us. Not only did she just host a fantastic conference called the Elevate Conference, Sandy is a person who understands value. And the fact that what you get versus what you pay are often two totally different things. And she's fantastic. While she says she's cheap, she really is somebody who I think lives very intentionally and knows exactly what she's looking for out of life. And because of that, she refuses to overpay, which is where the Yes I Am Cheap name comes from. She's also a fantastic investor, and she's very public about some of the buys and sells that she makes around the things that she owns in her portfolio. And so we're super excited that Sandy's going to be on Team Joe the next 4 months. So, Bobbi, who's your next reveal?
My next reveal is Tara Falcone, who is, like me, a CFP, but she takes it to another level. She's also a CFA. A lot of you might be familiar with Tara from her YouTube channel. She also heads up a financial literacy platform called LIT, L-I-T, which is obviously a play on the term financial literacy. And she does a lot of work with schools and a lot of work with education. And she's really becoming a very prominent figure in the financial education space. She travels quite a bit, teaching people the basics of finance, but also getting a little more in depth because she really has a lot of specific knowledge, being both a CFP and a CFA. So I'm really excited to have Tara on. I always mispronounce her name, Tara. And definitely everyone should check out her YouTube channel. Her company, by the way, is called Rise Up, R-E-I-S, Rise Up. So I'm excited to have Tara on board.
The thing I get excited about Tara being on this show is that she's fantastic at, she talks a lot of the time at companies and works with people on companies. So when it comes to company benefits and flexing what's available publicly and at work, I think there's few people out there who know as much about that as Tara does.
Yeah. And she's also, as I said, a real rising star in the education community and does a lot of work with schools.
There's only one.
Check out our LIT platform.
Right. There's only, there are two more people. There's one. We actually had one person who had to decline because of their compliance. So I only have two more, but let's go over my next person on Team Joe. And that is my friend from a great podcast called Paychecks and Balances, Rich Jones. Rich is fantastic because he juggles so many different things. And talk about somebody, Sandy is hanging out and talked about being naked because of sharing her investment choices. Rich often gets naked about his money and about his feelings around money and the things. He and his co-host Marcus Garrett have a fantastic podcast, and he brings the every guy perspective, Bobbi, about somebody who isn't professionally in money, but is very passionate about knowing what he wants to get and the emotional roller coaster sometimes you go through getting there. And on that show on Paychecks and Balances, they do a fantastic job. So we're excited that on week 2 of every month, Rich Jones is going to join me.
Yeah. And I've gotten to know Rich actually over the last year through mutual friends. And I definitely agree. He is real. He does not, he's just very honest. He doesn't mince words, and he will get straight to the point. And I think he's going to be adding some really interesting perspectives that we don't always have. And I think that's going to be really great for our listeners. And I'm looking forward to seeing what stories you guys select, because they definitely could be different from what you and I select. And by the way, that's going to be true with a lot of our guests, that we will work with them to be selecting things that are topical and getting buzz in the news, but in their areas of expertise, because I personally want to get their perspective on these things, because they have true in-depth knowledge very often. And you'll see as we keep revealing these guests, it'll become more obvious when they're really specialists in certain areas. So it's going to be cool.
Dylan says he's not sure how he feels about Rich being naked. Good thing it's a podcast. Might not want to watch the live feed. That's so good. I promise that is just an analogy. There will be no naked on the show. Yeah, not yet. Unless the ratings are really bad, then we do what we have. No, I'm kidding. There will be no naked on the show. Who's next, Bobbi?
We have Jim Wang. From Wallet Hacks, who is also frequently, by the way, a member of this audience on Facebook Live. So we're really excited to have Jim. And of course, he's going to talk a lot about getting the best values when you are looking to make plans with your finances. His website has a lot of great deals, a lot of very practical and specific solutions. He is married with 3 kids. I believe he lives in Maryland, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And he's going to bring the everyday family man, dad perspective, 3 little kids to us. And I think that's going to be really compelling because he's got, a sight line to a lot of the topics that we talk about, like saving for college and, we're worrying about, is your spouse working? Is your spouse not working? How are you managing your family? So the whole family perspective, I think, will be so interesting to hear from Jim, as well as just, a lot of money saving tips, frankly, because let's be real, that's also important.
Jim's first site, Bargaineering, was one of the early financial sites on the internet, and Jim has been very public about selling that site for a lot of money. He also is somebody who he was a lifetime achievement winner of from the Plutus Awards. So the Indie Personal Financial Awards. Jim Wang was. I remember, by the way, when I won my first Plutus Award for Stacking Benjamins.
You're just rubbing it in, Joe.
Okay. When I won a Plutus
You've never won a Plutus Award, Joe. But go on. Tell us about all of yours, because there's so many.
No, but it was funny. I shouldn't have said that. So I'm in the elevator.
No, go on.
I'm in the elevator with Jim, and I'm holding on to my trophy, and Jim is holding on to his trophy. And I said to Jim, I said, I find it hard to be with somebody who's younger than me, who's won a Lifetime Achievement Award. And I'm like holding on to my Plutus. And it was just a very funny moment. I'm like, oh, great. Made me feel like a grandpa right there.
Do you know how many Plutus Awards you've won, Joe, or have you lost track?
We've won 4.
Okay.
So, yes.
All right. Well, maybe this show will win a Plutus Award.
That's next up. That's our whole goal. No,
I need to win a Plutus Award now, Joe.
Yes, it'll help you with your identity issues. Yeah, right.
I feel like I've achieved something.
Next up, and the last person I can announce for our team, because the 4th person we've asked has not said yes yet, frankly, is somebody who I have really liked for a long time, and she is just an incredible part of the Her Money network, and she is Jean Chatzky's right-hand woman. Do you think she'd mind me calling her that?
She is that, but she is also the co-founder of Her Money Media.
Yes. Yeah.
So she is Jean's partner in that. She is the co-founder. She did start out as Jean's number 2, and she does still work for/with Jean, but she's very much come into her own and is very much at the head of this company. And
that is Kelly Hultgren from Her Money. And if you haven't listened to the Her Money show before, you'll hear her answering listener questions. And this woman is a wealth of knowledge. And I'm super excited that Kelly's going to be joining us on the show. She's somebody that I've had so many conversations with Kelly about podcasting, about money, just these very nerdy conversations. And it's funny because I think often, and even the way I introduced her there, she often, unfortunately, has a big shadow in front of her with Jean Chatzky. It's going to be great to help Kelly for everybody to see that there should be no shadow in front of Kelly Hultgren. So we're super excited that she's going to be on Team Joe in week 3 of our show.
Don't rub it in that I lost her to you, Joe. Okay. But yeah, I'm a huge Kelly fan as well. And Kelly was a huge help to me when I was starting the Financial Grown Up podcast, giving me a lot of great advice on that. So she really knows her stuff and she really knows her financial stuff. I'm just going to say she did learn a lot from Jean, but as we've discussed, she is very much her own expert at this point as well. And so I'm just so pumped about Kelly Hultgren being part of the team.
And you've got one, you can announce your fourth person.
Yes. Some of you are very interested in real estate. You're going to be very excited about this choice. He is Chad Carson, also known as Coach Carson. And so he will bring the real estate perspective. I think that's really going to be a great addition because many people are interested in just even the most basic questions about how to invest in real estate, what is happening with all of the tax changes, different ways that you can use real estate. I mean, his podcast, I'm such a fan. He talks about how to hack real estate investments to, for example, fund your kid's college fund or whatever, college savings plan, that kind of thing. And I'm just excited about him. I know he's a good friend of yours. I'm new friends with him, but Joe's known him a long time.
Yeah, he's Coach Carson's a super guy. I really like he's got a fairly new podcast. It hasn't been around that long, but you can tell by the success of the podcast right away that he's doing so many things right. But mostly what he's doing right is I like his approach to real estate. There's so many charlatans, Bobbi, as you know, in the real estate business. So to find people who are authentic and have the heart of a teacher and are as smart as he is and as giving as he is and don't have some axe to grind is incredibly refreshing and is going to be great.
Yeah. He also has a book, by the way. I think that he partnered with the Bigger Pockets folks to put out. I think he put that out just last year. So that's also something you guys can check out. And on the website for all of these folks, you can just click on their pictures and go to learn more about what they're up to.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll put it back up on the screen here. This is here is the website. And then if you scroll down, you will see we're starting to populate. Bobbi has some of her team in there. I don't have my team in here yet, but you'll be able to see who's with us and you'll also see the recording. So if you just hover over, you'll see the recording and who's going to be on that show. So should be a lot of fun. I think that's it. Is that it? That's
well, we do want to tell people we did set up social channels. So
I'm so glad you said that.
Which have, I think, 0 followers as of now. But if you can follow us both on Instagram and Twitter at Money Friends Pod. Money Friends Pod. So please follow us so our channels will not be sad.
Money Friends Pod is that, and then moneyfriendspodcast.com is the
Money with Friends Podcast.
Money with Friends.
MoneyWithFriendsPodcast.com is the website. And by the way, just some insider intel. We had to, in order to have the same social media handles, we had to shorten it. And that is why it is slightly different because Twitter has limitations on the characters. And so we wanted them to be uniform. And so that's why we came up with Money Friends Pod.
I know that in the past, when we've made changes to the show, people have told me that while they like new artwork, it makes it hard to find our show. So we have this artwork will be, and I'll put it back up on the screen. This artwork will be our artwork starting on the next show. So you're going to want to look for this. And if you're doing it by search in Apple Podcast or Spotify or wherever, the name is going to change to Money with Friends. So you want to put Money with Friends in to find us versus that. And speaking of that, because Kathy's here, Kathy kicked butt in helping us get to 100 people on YouTube so we'd have our own YouTube URL. That also will change to Money with Friends. So it'll be youtube.com/Money with Friends if you want to watch the video. And we'll do the same thing we usually do. We'll take this recording and we'll cut it into 2 shorter videos so you can watch just one headline at a time with us and our guest. And then you'll get, for people that need shorter content, but they want 6 days a week, you'll get 6 days of Money with Friends.
And also on the website, you'll be able to click right through to all the social channels, including the YouTube that Joe was just mentioning. So on the upper right of the homepage, you'll see our social links are right there for you guys. So you don't even have to remember the
The big
whatever the tags.
The big question here, Dylan says, no big idea connecting the two teams' headlines together. There will still be a big idea. And not only that, some people were nice enough. I went into the Stacking Benjamins Facebook group and asked people if they could help us. And so that's the character who dies. So enough of that.
No longer with us.
Yes. We gave Laura the boot. She's no longer with us because we're making room for you to help us instead. And this is pretty exciting. And in fact, I'd like to, and I'm just we didn't talk about doing this, but I'd like to play one of the early recordings. We have not yet taken these and mastered them to have music behind them. But here is our friend Andy helping us with one of the headlines. And then there's a piece in here that we're going to cut for the big idea. But these will be two different things. Here's one of them.
Hi, this is Andy from Derby, Vermont. We'll supply the coffee, they'll supply the headlines. That's why I listen to Money with Friends.
And there it is. And then he'll also say this.
Hey, Bobby, what's the big idea?
Bam. And so we're going to put music behind those. And we've got eight people, 4 men and 4 women who are nice enough to help us out. And we'll mix those throughout the show to have some fun.
Right. And we'll be in touch. We'll give you, if you want an opportunity to try out to do one of those, that will be coming. If you listen to future episodes, we'll let you know how to do that.
The bar will be very high.
What? The bar is high, of course.
Very
high quality show here.
Absolutely. So that's it, guys. Glad to see the people hanging out with us. Thanks for all the encouragement. Thanks, Kelly. Kelly says she's excited for us. It's always morning somewhere, but this is great. Gregory says, I love you guys are amplifying all these great voices in the personal finance sphere. You know, there's so many cool people out there, Bobby. And the unintended consequence, I think, is what Gregory's talking about. You know, our goal was to highlight some of the stories out there and to explain some of the headlines, but being able now to explain them from different points of view, I think should make the show even more fun.
I love the idea of bringing in different perspectives, different people, different voices, and incorporating our audience as well. What could be better?
Yeah.
Money with Friends.
Yeah, which is why we'll continue to do the show live, because of the fact that having your comments in the show really makes the show not only different, but also a better show. So that's it, guys. That's going to do it for today. And we're at 27 minutes. How about that? That's where we try to stay. So everybody, go stack some Benjamins.
And go be grown-ups. Bye.
This show is created by Joe Saul-Sehy, hosted and produced by Bobby Rebell and Joe Saul-Sehy, is engineered by Caden Thompson, and all put together by a pack of well-trained ferrets down here in Joe's mom's basement. You'll find Bobby at the Financial Grown-Up Podcast and Joe at the Stacking Benjamins Show. Go say hi to them there, too. Online, visit us on Twitter at Average Joe Money and at Bobby Rebell, or come join a live recording at our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/iStackBenjamins. I know you already know this too, but Money in the Morning is for entertainment purposes only. You should not act on anything recommended by a bunch of entertainers in a basement or even a Manhattan kitchen without first consulting your financial advisor. And second, dude, have your head examined. Have headlines you'd like us to discuss? Send them to joe@stackingbenjamins.com or put them on our Stacking Benjamins closed Facebook group. This show is a collaboration of Stacking Benjamins LLC and BRK Media LLC. Copyright 2019. All rights reserved. I'm Joe's mom's neighbor Doug, and I reserve the right to always say, we'll see you next time back here on Money in the Morning.